Welcome to the Sports Showcase event on Hartford TV. I am Ray Ruse, and I'm here with my broadcast partner, Dan Gallagher. We are at John Carroll High School, where the host John Carroll Patriots are going against the Fallston Cougars. Two very, very good, solid teams year in, year out. Obviously, John Carroll plays in the tough conference, so even a 500 record is considered good. For John Carroll, we are coached by Laura Seifert, and her assistant coach is Allie Carey. It's both of their first years, and they're currently 5-5 with a 4-5 conference record. For Fallston, we have 7-0 team, and head coach is Maddie Palco, and the assistant coach is Abby Mikish. So, Dan, welcome to the telecast, and what are your thoughts about this matchup?
Thanks, Ray. Again, once the teams from Hartford County get together, you can kind of throw out all the records. These guys have been playing. Girls have been playing against each other since they were in rec. They know each other well, and it's always a tight contest. Like last year, for example, Fallston got the 1-goal victory over John Carroll at Fallston.
So now we've got the Fallston intros just got done, so now the fans are making some noise and the music's playing for the John Carroll introductions here.
So each team, Ray, has experienced some injuries along the line this year. Few of the starters for Fallston and John Carroll are out with either ACL injuries. The one girl, Abby Miller, is out with a hip injury. So, injuries have definitely taken their toll on both of these teams so far this year.
Yeah, that seems to be, I've even heard from doctors, factual information that ACLs are so much more prevalent for teenage girls. And I wonder how much of it has to do with the turfs. Playing, like, this is a very big sport on cutting, turning. Plant your foot in the ground the wrong way and turn it, it could just go.
I mean, all these guys have, trainers, and they train for ACL prevention.
Right.
But every year you see, especially, and even in the college ranks, you'll see girls go out, 1-2 with devastating ACL injuries.
So I expect a really good matchup here. I mean, you have two well-coached teams. I think the coaches on these teams have played, some of them at a pretty high level, you were saying?
Oh, yeah. Allie Carey was a D1 lacrosse player at Vanderbilt.
Wow.
Made Team USA. And she coaches locally for Skywalker's Blue for the 25s. So yeah, both of these coaches for John Carroll. Laura's been coaching for 18 years, different rec programs. She's with NEMS. She's done Habit of Grace. So she's very well versed in women's lacrosse and played at Lycoming.
That's great to have that experience as players and coaches. So I think we're going to probably, let's see if they're going to do the anthem here, Dan.
And this is also a little bit of a family affair here, Ray, with 3 sets of sisters on the on the Fallston roster, and a set of sisters, actually twins, on the John Carroll roster. So if they fight like family, you know why.
That's a nice experience. I was able to play 1 year of varsity soccer with my brother, who's 2 years older than me. And to your point, it could be the best or the worst.
I just fought with my sisters. That was it.
We were the first ones to fight with each other, but we were the first ones to defend each other. So that's how it worked. But anyhow, Dan, you're well experienced in this sport, and you've done a lot of years of coaching and helping NEMS with recruiting and other. Educate our fans a little bit here on the differences of rules in girls lacrosse compared to boys.
Well, both games are physical. You'd be surprised, at least novices to the game, about how physical women's lacrosse is. But you definitely know about the physicality within the men's game. But some of the rules are a little different. The sticks are, the big difference is sticks, deep pockets for the men, and smaller pockets. So you have to be on the women's side, you have to be a little bit more precise, a little bit more skill based. and also some of the nuances of the game with fouls, with shooting spaces,
Yes.
and 3-second calls. So if you're not quite up to speed on some of these rules, it can be a little confusing.
So it looks like we have number 10 Piper McHugh going for the draw with, I'm trying to get the number for Fallston. Is that 8 we can see there?
Yep.
And
Macy Butke.
Yeah.
So number 10, Piper is a freshman, a 3-sport starter as a freshman at John Carroll. So that's pretty impressive.
So Piper doesn't really know me very well, but I know her family very well. I'm friends with her parents. Very athletic family. Dad, Ed, and Mom. Oh my gosh, I don't know. I'm going to lean towards Stacy, Mom, being even a better athlete. She was a sports star at Seamount Wright, but Ed's an outstanding soccer player. But Piper, she just has that knack to do all these team sports. And in today's day and age, Dan, what a refreshing thing to see a three-sport athlete.
Yeah. Yep. So having 3 girls, but all three of my girls were 3-sport athletes. Looked like a illegal pick there on Fallston. So ball goes over to John Carroll.
So for those who don't know, Dan and I go way back. I was lucky enough to coach his girls when they were younger at Fountain Green swim team, and Maggie in particular was good friends with my daughter Jamie, and Maggie played at Penn State University, and I want to say in her time they made the Final Four twice.
So freshman year Big Ten champions, 2 Final Fours her sophomore and junior years, and an NCAA appearance in her senior year.
Now Katie played at Navy, and pre her years, their program was not known for making the playoffs, but they made it at least one of the years she was in, right?
She made it as a freshman.
That's awesome. Erin was obviously a great swimmer. We got a goal there. I want to say, let's see the number here.
That was Grace Marchetti.
Yes. Here comes the replay here. That was a quick shot, Dan. I mean, she didn't even hesitate.
No, she had some steam on that shot. She just had a real nice look at at cage and picked a real nice spot to place the ball.
And I think that was passed all the way across by Lydia Ward from across. Now she was that seemed like almost too open to me. Nobody was on her there, Dan.
No, and again, she got a great look at cage and ripped one past the goalie.
Well, it's
Cameron.
really nice to see shooters being able to shoot well with their left and their right hand. I was doing a boys lacrosse game, and one of the players that scored 4 goals had 2 left and 2 right. And it's good to have that versatility with your skill.
Yeah, Marchetti gets the draw for John Carroll.
And all the way in.
Oh,
it was quite a run. Now you see the shooters do 2 different types of shots. Some of them do the bounce shot, some of them do the upper 90. She kind of looked like she went in between there.
Yeah, and actually this is a new look for Lydia. Usually she's sporting the helmet last couple games. She hasn't worn it.
Now, in defense in lacrosse, almost always man-to-man, or
no,
zone?
actually, yeah. There's they switch on and off between a man-to-man, which you'll see a lot of, and then they'll switch between a zone backer, which again zone principles, but they'll have like almost a linebacker behind that first line. So you'll dodge past the first line and then run right into the backer for a double team.
So Piper McHugh was cutting across the top of the circle there, and then she drew a foul here, Dan.
Yep.
So she gets a free run at the goal.
And you'll see Fallston players line up on both sides and try to interfere with her shot. Nice sidearm shot
nice
again.
Shot. Yeah, she has something that every coach wants, and it's not just skill. She's got speed.
Speed and quickness. And when I talk to college coaches on the sidelines at recruiting tournaments, they talk to me about speed, but not only speed of foot, but also speed mentally.
Yes.
Having to be able to process what's going on on the field and react.
So Piper already has, that's her 11th goal this year. She came in with 10, and other top scorers, Marianne Magolia has 10 coming in. Another draw won by John Carroll. 9 goals by Izzy Boyle coming in. Sammy Bender has 6. Grace Marchetti now has 11. And that's pretty good depth of scoring there.
Yes, it is. They're a very skilled offensive team. Some of the things that Laura wishes, their shot placement was a little better. She's really good with their shot selection, but some of their shot placements have been an issue so far this year.
So this is an important time for Fallston to get a stop. They're already down 2-0 quickly. I know lacrosse is one of those games where sometimes you can get runs in the goals.
Oh, it's definitely a game of runs.
So if you're the goalie here, you completely stay put. Oh, that was good job coming in from the defense quickly on the right there.
But you'll try to come out and try to cut down the angle. It's sort of like a goalie in hockey. So it's all about angles. And
Nice
there's
save.
another nice save by the goalie.
So our goalie is, see who we got here in the goal.
Cameron Roner.
Yeah. Here comes the shot and the save here. Wow, nice. Cameron Roner, I remember her playing soccer as a little girl in my soccer leagues for futsal in the winter. Her mom, Sybil, is one of those parents that helps drive these programs, commissioner and leader. And as you know, as a longtime coach and a supporter of your kids' sports, feeder systems are vital.
Exactly.
You got to appreciate those parents that put in all those, not hours, thousands of hours.
Ooh, there's a call called going across the body for that check. Also, Cameron Roner is committed to the U.S. Naval Academy.
That's awesome.
A program that's near and dear to my heart.
So I actually just saw her mom, Sybil, on the way in, and she gave me a hug, and she told me she actually talked to you on the phone about that since, Katie went there.
Yeah, it's a little different process than normal recruiter for college.
Well, that means that Cameron's also a great person and a great student, too, to be able to go there.
Another nice check. That was by Natalie Kelly with a nice check. Battling for the loose ball.
Natalie's got some quickness, too.
She's sneaky quick.
Yes. Well, you mentioned before speed and quickness. Like, see, people say, well, what's the difference? Well, I always say, like, that spurt speed. Like, the person who can run from the 20 to the 20, it's one thing. But that person that can get that little 8-yard burst.
Yep, that quick
ball,
first step and blow by people. Okay, we got another foul. I think it's within the 8, so we're going to line up for another free position. Okay, again, fouls committed in that 8-meter arc are awarded free positions.
Now she's coming in at an angle here, and she put it in. So that was number 4, Lydia Ward. Okay, here she comes. She used her left hand, put the low shot to the left corner. Now, when you're coming in at an angle in a free run, do you want to continue the angle, or do you want to kind of get towards the middle of the goal more so if you can?
It kind of depends on the defensive pressure that you're facing.
And the goalie's position?
Yep.
Now, these girls you mentioned, like, a lot of these girls know each other. That's
Exactly.
what's neat about a sport like lacrosse. Like, you got parents here saying hello to each other. Their daughters are playing against each other today, but they're playing on club together. They played rec or travel together, other sports. And especially since a lot of these girls from John Carroll, if they're local to Fallston or Bel Air area, a lot of them get on the same club teams, but they know each other. So they know, well, I got so-and-so coming to my right, she's quick. So I'm going to drift towards my left here a little bit.
Yeah, and these guys know their favorite side to dodge and all that, and they battle like heck in between the white lines, and it's really cool to see after the game. They're all hugging on each other, taking pictures, putting it on social media. So it's a really fun environment.
So you got a steal there by number 12, Hannah Smith. So let me ask you a question to educate me, Dan. And I like to show, not try to act like a know-it-all, and let fans that, like me, are learning rule. Was that Westervelt girl, Emily? What
Anna Westervelt.
Anna Westervelt. What a great catch that was in traffic. So when does it go from you can defend between the person with the ball and it's legal to now you're getting a shooting space violation?
Again, that happens within the 8 meter.
Okay.
So you got to be within a stick's length of your person you're marked up with. Otherwise, you'll get a shooting space call or a 3-second violation.
That makes sense to me more because when I was watching some high school games recently, there's a nice chance up, little high. What a good backup there by Piper McHugh. Nice
look.
So
Lydia Ward again.
So Piper, I mean,
but she gets the assist. Yep.
I want to say, I don't mean to be. Let's see this here. Piper created that whole goal.
Yep.
And
she drew the whole defense to her, and Lydia was on the doorstep and capitalized.
And I don't want to take anything away from Lydia's shot because that was an outstanding shot. And she waited for the goalie to commit, and it went high over her. But, like, not only did Piper make that run, but she made a great backup on the missed shot before that. So she caught it. She realized that the defense was vulnerable. She says, hey, I'm going to attack the goal here. Drew the people and got to play. I was a pretty good goal scorer in soccer, but people always said that really knew soccer, they said the real vision is being the person that gets the assist.
And sometimes, you know, you'll get the point for the assist, but sometimes it's about the assist of the assist.
Yes, yes.
So in hockey, you get a a 2-assist point, but in women's lacrosse and lacrosse, period, you get the 1 assist. But again, that field of vision, knowing where everybody is. Again, that goes back to the speed, but speed of mind.
Right.
Knowing where everybody is, where your players are, and where you can attack a vulnerable defense.
I'm glad you brought that up because the assist to the assist, because like, you know, Anna Westervelt's catch at midfield and gaining that could have easily been and that was way before the goal, but if she doesn't catch that ball, Fallston's going the other way.
It's all about, this game is all about possessions.
Yeah.
Turnovers are key and draw controls are key.
Yes.
You cannot score if you don't have the ball.
So we are at the 17:03 point of the first half, and John Carroll has already jumped out to a 4-0 lead, and I'm assuming that was
a Fallston timeout.
Fallston timeout. Now, you put your coaching hat on here, Dan. What are you talking to your players about in Fallston?
Just telling everybody to settle down. You know, this is, you know, it's still early. There's 17 minutes left in the first half. Just relax and play Fallston lacrosse. These guys, you know these guys. So just relax and play your game.
And they've had the ball down their end twice, but they weren't able to maintain possession.
Again, and it's all about the turnovers and keeping the possession of the ball.
And, you know, it's really not Cameron Roner's fault in the 4-0. I mean, these were point-blank shots.
Yeah. I mean, she's come up with a couple nice saves already, and it could be a whole lot worse than it is right now, but she needs a little help on that defensive end.
Well, first of all, I give anybody that's willing to volunteer for goalie in any sport a lot of kudos because, you know, my coaches, I was able to play every position on the field in soccer at some point between high school and college and club. Not for goalie, no. I was hiding when the coach was asking for volunteers. I was looking around and not making eye contact.
Well, you can always tell the goalies on the team and the attackers.
Yes.
The attackers have bruises all up and down their arms, and the goalies have bruises on their legs.
Yes. So you got a little bit. I mean, it almost seemed like Fallston was trying to, you know, crowd the middle there a little bit when the midfielders are running across the top.
Now they're trying to double up the ball carrier. And now we got a shooting space.
Okay. Interesting.
Again, that's just, I think, their 4th free position that's just been called on them. Again, you talked about, you know, angles. The defense on her right side came crashing in, so she got between her and the defender.
So here we have number 3, Emmy King. And you know what? She was very patient on that shot, Dan. I mean, the 2 people came in from the side and the goalie came out, and she didn't panic and shoot right away. Again, she made the goalie commit, and then she found her spot.
Yeah, got that right side defender on her back, so if she would try to check her, it would be another foul. And then was, again, patient, waited for the goalie to make her move, and then she shot.
So when my son was in high school, I went to some of the girls' lacrosse games because they were friends, and it just so happened that one of his friends was one of the better players, Haley, and she's at Oregon now on scholarship, and she was fast. She was a cross-country champion and very fast. And just as a person watching the game, I'm thinking, nobody can keep up with her. So in a playoff game, the coach was smart enough to let her attack the goal over and over because she drew that penalty over and over again. So is that something as a coach that you try to utilize once in a while?
Oh, definitely. You know, the teams that are better in shape, you know, when it comes down to the 3rd and the 4th quarter, are the guys that are going to be able to attack cage and force the issue.
I just think it's such a rule that if you have the right kind of athletes, you can really take advantage of.
And speed kills.
Yes. Well, and you know, speed that doesn't have skill isn't going to do as good. Piper's getting roughed up there.
And got an offensive foul charge call.
Interesting there.
She was a little too aggressive to cage.
Yes. It's hard to take the aggression out of some athletes, though, isn't it?
I think that's John Carroll's first turnover. You know, so far this season, one of their issues has been turning the ball over. But so far today, they've been very careful with the ball.
So we were talking about shot clock, and I'm seeing it run. And Dan, you were telling me before the match started that the private league uses it, the public schools don't.
Correct.
So since they're the host, they're using it today. But I think it's that's not an experience that is foreign to many of all these girls because of club probably, right?
Yeah, during the summer tournaments, we do not use shot clocks.
Okay.
But in college, they do.
Yes.
We also have a foul out there, number 11, Lizzie Hanifer, with a check to the head with a 2-minute penalty.
Very important for Fallston to take advantage of this being 5 down, 14 minutes to go in the first half.
They need a goal.
Yes.
I don't think they've had a shot on goal.
No, they've been stopped each time.
A little wide of cage.
And that was smart of John Carroll, number 6 there. That was Mia Snellenberg.
Yep.
She got the backup there to get possession.
So on a shot, the closest girl to the out-of-bounds ball gets possession. She was the closest.
So I'm a fan of hustle. So some of my favorite little things that you see in sports is like watching people dive for the end line to be the closer person just to gain possession, which isn't as attractive to do on turf as it is grass, but I've seen it.
Yeah, you'll be good friends with the trainer.
Yes. That's when you get in the shower later and you feel every turf burn and you're like, oh my gosh.
And then those brush burns when you go to sleep and wake up and you stick to the sheets.
Emmy King there looked very quick going around the left side there.
John Carroll's going to work it around, try to get a good shot. But first of all, let's see what the defense is going to do for Fallston. If they're going to pressure out, which they are, and they're just going to run their offense. Ooh, went for the home run check there and missed. Another shooting space call.
Yeah, well, you know what? That was an outstanding move by Annie Willie on the first player there, and that's what got her the position to be in that, gain that foul.
Yeah, she kind of lulled her defender to try to get that home run check and pulled it away from her. So good save by the Fallston goalie there on that free position.
Lizzie Hannafy got the rebound, and she thought about going in there, Dan, but then she wisely pulled it back out and said, let's rework this.
Yep. Let's get a good shot.
Well, The shot clock is
Oh, there's a nice pass.
big.
Oh, an even better save.
Wow. That's got to give.
That was a nice shot by Natalie Kelly,
Yeah.
but an even better save by Cameron.
A lot of pressure on the ball
Three
here.
girls.
She scooped it back in.
They give possession to Fallston because you cannot play without an eye guard. So possession goes over to Fallston. Wait for Nat to reposition her goggles.
So they've gotten a few stops here. So now they need to make something happen here offensively.
Again, they still haven't had a shot on cage. Now they've had a couple shots, but nothing on cage. Nice move.
Could be.
Nice. Oh,
She had it.
real nice. Recovery check
Here we go. Another run at the goal.
by Kate Cotton.
Oh, she had the shot. On that previous play, Dan, it was Kate Cotton that really got a good defensive stop there.
Yeah, she got burned a little bit on the inside, but came back with the recovery check.
Yeah. Now that last chance was a really good chance for a score here. Nice move. I think if she would have maintained that possession.
Okay, they're going to try to double. Got the stick in the passing lane. Still have 60 seconds left on the shot clock.
Yeah, that's plenty of time. Be patient. I'm not seeing anybody on Fallston show in the middle and make runs to the middle here.
There you go. And
There
there's
you go.
as soon as you said it.
Well, I kind of meant as a target, not making a run. So that goal was scored.
Ava
by number
Lambros
4, Ava Lambros.
was their leading scorer, committed to Flagler.
Also, remember seeing, here we go, nice moves, dodge to the middle, high shot. Not a whole lot the keeper could do about that shot. She put it right in the top.
Again, nice shot placement.
Ava's mother is also a friend of mine who also helps run the Fallston soccer program. No, what I meant, Dan, was on the John Carroll end, when the midfielders are holding the ball up top, people are running through the middle for a pass once in a while. I haven't seen Fallston flashing people to the middle for a quick pass.
Again, it's all about their motion offense and or a set play
Style, yeah.
Some teams are more accustomed to doing dodges. I call that dodgeball. And some schools and offenses are more pass oriented,
So
assist oriented.
what did Piper do wrong there that they gave the ball?
She kind of moved early.
Okay. Now she ran off. Is she required to run off?
No, she just switched sticks. She has a draw control stick and she has a regular stick.
That's awesome. So Fallston's had a couple possessions in a row here.
Nothing to show for it,
Well,
except for that one goal by.
They, I mean, I know we have 10 minutes left exactly to go.
Oh.
So let's see if
And Fallston is I mean, John Carroll is sending doubles quickly. So anybody that's a ball carrier for Fallston, they send the double to them in a hurry. Nice save there, Byron.
So on that run right there, number 11, Lizzie Hannafy, and number 7, Sojo Holland, they were in quick on her. Like, that's where we talk about the speed.
Yep.
Like, she did not take off. So Lydia, let me see here. Number 4, we've got Ava Lambros again, had the chance. Good backup behind the goal again. Here goes that speed that.
Oh, look, this girl's got some wheels.
Yes. Yeah.
Letty Ward.
Great job on the Fallston girls to stay with her there, though.
But also really good stick control by Lydia there, with 2 girls on her, swinging and trying to get her get the ball.
And as you said, the girls' pocket is
It's a little bit more shallow, and it's easier to dislodge the ball, and it's a little tougher skill-wise to make it stay in your stick and catch and all that fun stuff.
that's a
Nice
nice
look.
run. So it looks like we had the assist.
Lizzie Hannaford with the goal.
Yeah, number 11, she got the goal. I'm trying to see who got the assist there. Very nice run. So that that made me look a little prophetic there because I had said I liked seeing the cutters run to the middle for a pass. John Carroll definitely seems to have that as part of their offense.
Yeah, definitely. And Fallston's a little bit more dodgeball and, you know, taking the ball 1v1 to cage. And I think that's why Laura is sending doubles quickly to when the ball carrier goes to the cage.
Kind of makes it harder to defend. You don't know whether the person behind the goal is going to make it run like Piper did earlier, and you don't know if they're going to pass it to the person attacking. I mean, sometimes the people making it run through the middle are decoys.
Yep.
So Piper won that draw.
She's been a little bit dominant over here on the draw circle today.
Yes. I was joking with a coach before that anything high in the air, Piper's good at. So if it's a rebound in basketball, she's there. If it's a head ball in soccer ball, she's there.
She's got nice size on her too.
Yes.
So John Carroll's going to get into their set offense. Everybody's going to work around, get a touch.
Yeah, they're definitely showing patience and
Haley Lauer with the ball, nice look.
that's a nice pass. Nice save again. She had a really good look, but Cam really stopped that one well. Luckily, her defending teammate was right there to pick it up.
But a nice play there by Lydia Ward on the ride caused the turnover. John Carroll ball.
So Lydia was smart there. They were kind of going in a 2-1-7, and she realized I better pull back and wait for some numbers here.
Or else she'll hear an earful from Coach Lahr.
Yes. Well, you know, that's like the person throwing up the NBA three-pointer, and you're like, no, no, and then it goes in.
Yes.
Yeah. So she would have gone to the goal and scored there. Laura would have forgiven her, right?
Yes.
But you still love to see your players play smart, logical game, you know, and right there, let's get the numbers. And they've done so well in their, you know, offense, getting set up and being patient.
And that's what, you know, college coaches talk to me on the sidelines about, again, you know, athleticism, speed, but also Lex IQ.
Right.
Knowing when to push the tempo, when to pull it out and stay for a better shot.
Now, Fallston coaches were telling us they graduated 12 or 13 seniors last year. So even though they started out 7-0, this is kind of like a first half is kind of like a little bit of a rebuild. Let's let the new people take over and see who's going to step up and be the leaders.
They have a real strong junior class. Talking to Maddie, they had some real good leadership on the squad.
Great job by Cam going all the way out to the left side there and getting the ball to her team and then settling down. So now Fallston needs to get some.
Fallston's kind of struggled here on their transitions.
Yes.
And John Carroll's put some nice pressure on them in between the 30s.
Well, Haley Lauer, number 25 on John Carroll, was really harassing them, just getting the ball over midfield.
Yeah.
And you know, Dan, I always say that your feet lead your defense. It doesn't matter whether you're a lacrosse defender, you're a soccer defender, basketball, football. If you don't move your feet properly, you're not defending. That was a good save.
Yep. Again, it's more 1v1 offense for Fallston versus more of a team offense for John Carroll.
So we had a little turnover there on the pass out.
Again, clears, you know, possessions and efficiency in your clear game are vital.
So explain the rules, Dan, about players on each side of midfield over different lines. I mean, what is the rule?
Okay, you got to have 4 back now. There was a nice give and go there.
Let's see who that was. Number 4 on the goal.
Yep. Ava again.
Ava got another goal. Okay.
But it was a nice feed, and I couldn't see exactly who fed from X on her. But it was a nice feed, right where she could handle it. And it was a quick stick into the goal for Kate.
So the thing about the previous shot before that, where the goalie stopped it, it was almost like the player was too close to the goalie.
Yep.
And the defenders kind of guided them there, and it took away their angle.
Correct. So sometimes, you know, you're going to get a shot, but it's about the angle and making your goalie a little bit more effective. Nice draw control there.
Well, as we know, the draw control is huge in the game. I mean, a team could be a little bit more skilled and more athletic than you, but if you're winning 75%, 80% of the draws, you're giving yourself a much better chance. Is that Natalie?
Yep, that's Natalie Kelly.
Got some good
good stick skills, keeping her head up, trying to find the open player. Again, not great transition game. A little bit sloppy through the midfield.
Yeah, that's the second time that in the last couple of possessions that John Carroll had a chance to break out, but they seem to rush the pass.
I guess I talked a little bit too early about them, you know, controlling the ball and not making turnovers.
Sometimes they make us look good, sometimes they don't. So,
Ayla Galloway here.
Ava's an outstanding basketball player.
Yeah, wasn't she the player of the year in Hartford County?
I think so. I called one of their games, and she was just dominant. But you know what? She was fundamental, too. So here's a free run at the goal.
Okay.
And that was
goal. Yep.
So I'll tell you what I like, Dan, about, see the replay here. Very calm.
And she uses her body well.
Yes.
Shields the defender from her stick, and was able to convert the goal. Also, Ayla's committed to play lacrosse at Mercer.
So one thing I started to say there is, and I'm just going to talk about another sport a little bit, but like, skill is great, but doing the basics very well is important. So when I watched her play basketball, she literally like did up and under moves. She faked her defender into one way and then calmly used the backboard, body position. All those kind of natural abilities that different people have of knowing where to stand, where to shield their opponent off.
Mm-hmm.
It affects so much of the game.
I mean, that's a lot of hard work, knowing where to be, how to stick skills, going on the wall ball routines, because these guys only get so much practice time, and you got to put in some off the practice field time with a wall or.
Well, a lot of coaches will say every hour you put in with me, you put in 2 or 3 away from me. So we're here with 3:23 left in the first half, and what was once a 5-0 game is now 6-3.
Yeah, Fallston's creeping back.
Yes.
Again, John Carroll's been a little sloppy with the ball, especially through their transition, and Fallston's been able to capitalize.
So one of my friends through multiple sports is nice enough to tell me that he tapes and watches all the games that we do, and he's a fan of all the sports. He likes to watch the kids, and he's very nice and compliments me, but I told him, I said, well, sometimes I'm a broken record, and I say the same thing for each telecast. But I think it's okay because it's valid. We've got 3:23 left here in the first half. How many times have we seen the last few minutes of one half and the first few of another half be a dramatic difference? In the
momentum switching jerseys.
Yes, thank you. So the big Mo, I mean, you finish a half well, you feel good about yourself going into halftime. So right now, John Carroll could extend their lead and make this a little bit more comfortable. But if Fallston, if they keep creeping back in this, going to be some interesting.
It'll be an interesting halftime talk.
Yes, yes. So the John Carroll coach is going to say we had a 5-goal lead, now we have a 3. We need to get back to what we were doing.
Yeah, she looked a little animated in her in her team huddle.
Well, they were dominating possession for a while there,
Correct.
and they were very efficient when they got in here. Let's see what they can do
Oh,
here.
that's a little bit of a too aggressive swing
Okay.
for the referees. Like they don't like to see that kind of axe kind of chopping going after the check, and every time they see that, they're going to call.
So are there different lengths of penalties in girls lacrosse?
No, most of them are 2 minutes.
Okay.
But then as you get more and more penalties, some become unreleasable.
Wow. Until the other team scores?
Yep.
Wow. So I asked that because in the boys it was different lengths for different things.
Yep. No, this is basically 2 minutes in there.
Yeah,
Marchetti.
That was a very nice
Grace
shot.
Marchetti with another nice goal. Again, found a hole in the middle of the defense. John Carroll was able to find her in the middle of the
Here's
8.
the replay here. Let's see. Nice pass. Split the defenders using nice left-handed shot.
And you see, she just didn't actually turn and fire. She turned, found the goalie, threw it a little hitch in, and then fired.
So they answered pretty quickly to extend it back to 4. So let's see if Fallston can answer here.
Okay, we got Natalie Kelly on the draw here.
Giving Piper a little bit of a rest.
See what that call is. I think they're going to redraw it.
I tried to get Natalie to swim for me at one point, Dan, and it was a losing battle because she was so good at lacrosse.
And she puts a lot of work in.
Yeah, she's a well-rounded athlete. I think she also, I think she plays soccer, but I'm not sure.
She's committed to go to a brand new lacrosse program down in the University of South Florida that'll debut the next year.
Wow.
Actually, one of her assistant coaches is up here watching her.
Awesome.
Paul McCord, brand new coaching staff, brand new program. Mindy McCord is going to be the head coach. Paul, her husband, is the assistant. And then the associate head coach, Britt Ornation.
So I'm surprised that that's going to be a first year at that school. I thought
Yeah,
they would have had one already.
we're having, girls lacrosse is definitely a growth sport.
Right.
Every year we see at least 1 to 2 programs debut.
Nice run here.
Ava again.
She got in there pretty far, but it was a good job at the very end being cut off. Looks like that was Michaela Casey cut her off at the very end, number 17.
Yeah, Laura's been very complimentary on Michaela's defensive play this year. Being a young sophomore.
I didn't mean to cut you off there, but I thought they had a chance to pass it to number 22 there. Shot to the middle here. Oh, see, can she get this off? So pushing foul there.
Again, she was bound and determined to take that ball to cage.
Yes.
Luckily, she got the foul call.
So she really needs to put this one in. This is Delaney O'Malley.
Oh, that was a nice goal by Delaney. Delaney, by trade, is a defender for her NEMS club team. But because of the need on the offensive side of the ball for Fallston, she switched over and on attack this year.
Here she comes in. Nice shot. Right pass.
Nice shot placement.
Yes. That's a tough one for the goalie to get because it wasn't completely high, it wasn't completely low.
That opposite side hip is really hard to get to as a goalie.
So we have a 7-4 game here with 1:33 left in the first half. Just enough time to get 1, maybe 2 goals here, depending on who can answer quickly. So Natalie won that. Her teammate picked up the loose ball.
Over to Anna Westerveld. Over to Marchetti, Lauer, and we'll get it to X and run their offense.
So technically, Dan, I don't know if you do this in a game like this, but they could take the last shot.
Yeah.
Is that Piper? See who that was. Very good effort. Very good effort there.
There we go.
Is that
nice little rocker?
19. That was Ella Parks.
Ella Parks.
Getting her first goal.
Now that's a well-rounded athlete right there. Runs cross country and plays ice hockey.
Wow.
That's an unusual little combination. But a real nice little rocker move there. One side, defender bites. She turns around and found a nice open space in the cage.
If she plays ice hockey, she probably wishes the girls lacrosse game was even more physical than it is. She probably wants to knock some people around.
At least check somebody into the boards.
Well, that's the thing. Like, you tell me, good job by Natalie catching that ball with the pressure on her. No, you tell me, out of so many sports, you're going to have the skill to do the stick work and you're ice skating at the same time?
These people ice skate better than I walk.
Yes, they do. And then some of them can ice skate backwards while they're defending. I'm like, I would have fallen down by now.
Yeah, I look real good on sprawled out on the ice. Nice look by Nat. Finished by Grace Marchetti.
Wow. I mean, there wasn't a whole lot of space there for Natalie to get that pass in.
That's a hat trick for Grace.
That might have been my favorite pass of the game so
Yeah,
far.
that was in a tight window, and also, you know, Grace with a nice hands and turns around and finishes the play.
So that was a quick 3 goals from 6 to 3. So they're answering.
They're getting again momentum going into the locker room.
So we have 35 seconds to go here. Whoever wins this draw in possession doesn't really have much time to build a play here, Dan. They're going to have to.
No, they'll probably stay for that last shot.
Yes. Yeah, one of my pet peeves in sports is watching. You talked about sports intelligence. Watching the player that could take the last shot, shoot with 15 seconds, 20 seconds left, and they didn't need to. And then the other team gets possession and goes down and scores.
Again, it's all about, you know, the lax IQ and just lax, you know, not lax specifically, but just gamesmanship. And
we're going to have to attack here.
Oh, that's a nice inside move.
But a great save by Cam Roner. Wow. Now, very little time here. Catch. Oh, my gosh.
Oh.
So that was a pass
from I think that was Nat with the assist.
Yeah. And I'm trying to see who got the goal here. I think it might be.
I think it might be Grace.
So Natalie did a nice pass here.
Again to Grace. That combo works again. Natalie to Grace.
So here I am thinking they don't have time. And they proved me wrong.
4-goal outburst by Grace.
Just in the first half. So now we have 0.8 on the clock, and
good enough for the draw, and then that'll be about it.
Yep.
Grace comes from a family of lacrosse players. Her older sister is a starter for JMU, who's ranked 4th in the country right now.
Did she play at Simone, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember her. She was one of the players I was talking about before. So, Dan, we have a 10-4 lead for John Carroll going into half. What's your impressions about the first half?
Really nice offensive display by John Carroll, working the ball. I think probably maybe 6 of their goals are assisted. So they're really attacking in a team environment. While Fallston is a little bit more 1v1, trying to take the ball to cage, and John Carroll is kind of reacting and sending doubles.
Yes.
So it's a little bit tough trying to go through 3 people to attack cage. They got to be a little bit recognize the doubles a little quicker and spread the ball around.
Well, fans, if you like a lot of goals, you've seen them. Very entertaining first half. We have 10-4 lead for John Carroll at the half. Stay tuned for the second half. Welcome back to the second half of the Sports Showcase event on Hartford TV. I am Ray Ruse here with my broadcast partner, Dan Gallagher. We're at John Carroll High School for a girls lacrosse match between John Carroll Patriots and the Fallston Cougars. We have a 10-4 lead for John Carroll here, Dan. But, you know, Fallston had their one moment of a 3-1 burst. And I think it was really stemmed from getting more possessions, which is a big part of the game.
Again, John Carroll is really doing well on the draw, and they're creating turnovers. Again, this game's all about possession.
So Piper's back in. Piper McHugh is back in for the draw here for John Carroll. Natalie replaced her for a little while. You just want to switch it up once in a while?
Yeah, it's tough, going against the same girl time after time, and just give her a little break.
So Piper won that.
And she wins that.
So I'm gonna, as I said, I'm good friends with Piper's parents and grandparents, and know her one brother, Colin, well, and I'm just gonna tease the brothers and say I'm sorry. I think Piper's the best athlete of the three of you. Yes, you were good athletes, but your sister, I think, gets the title here. It's pretty tough when the whole family's athletic, like yours and mine. Yes, and. My family says, well, who's the best athlete in the family? And I'm like, well, probably skill, Mom, and Travis, but athleticism, they say me, but only because of speed and such. But I'm just fascinated with these athletes that could do 3 skilled sports, because to your point, it takes a lot of
takes
practice
dedication.
time. I mean, you like you said, whether it's soccer, lacrosse, tennis. If you don't have a place to play, hit the post there.
Piper.
You find
Piper
a wall.
hit the pipe.
you find a wall. And how many times do you find that nice brick wall and you throw thousands of because you can't always find a friend to practice with.
No, take a look at all the YouTube videos out there with wall ball routines.
Yes. I went to Naval Academy soccer camp once, and you've been down all over that campus, and they had those soccer goal and lacrosse goal walls nicely made with concrete, and I was like, oh my gosh, if I would have one of these at home, I wouldn't have to go chase the ball every time it goes on the other side of the goal. Well, stick work, I mean, you've got to practice this.
Definitely. It is a skill that takes a whole lot of time, patience, and practice.
So I've actually had a few neighborhood kids that I've seen set up a little obstacle course in their backyard and practice dodging and cutting. A lot of traffic there.
Yeah, she tried to go through 3 girls. Not the greatest decision, but she got lucky and get a foul call, so she'll be rewarded with a free position.
Yeah, that was Sammy Bender, and she got beat up a little bit there and hit the turf with the knees. That's not going to feel good later, but see if she has the speed here, Dan, to get in before the defense.
Nice start.
Wow.
Stick protection, and then went for the open space. A nice goal by Sammy right there.
So what I liked about that is, and that's the first time I've seen this, you'd probably be able to explain it better, she kind of crouched down a little bit more in her approach.
Yeah, again, it's a little bit about stick protection, getting that defender on her back, protecting the stick, and still being able to score.
So I'm going to throw a wild one at you here, question-wise. In soccer, if I have somebody on my back and I'm not going to beat them to the goal before I can get the shot off, a smart move is to slow up and draw the foul. Do you do that in lacrosse too?
Well, on free positions, you got all the momentum. You're going towards cage, so you just go ahead and finish the play.
Okay. So another.
Looked like Piper started a little early, possession Fallston. And they're going to get 3 girls.
She just got swamped.
But she handled herself well, got out of the situation.
Yeah.
Swung the ball around to the opposite side and starting the offense.
Yeah, that was Macy Butke. I mean, wow. She looked like the minnow swallowed up by 3 sharks there for a second.
Yeah, they descended on her.
And then she said, oh, I'm going to do a U-turn and get out of this. So let's see the patience, if Fallston has the patience to work for the play here. They have another minute to go here on the shot clock. Do you think that has affected them today at all?
Oh, definitely.
Not used to it as much?
Yeah, exactly. Although it hasn't come into play.
Right.
Nobody's gotten called for a delay. But if you're not used to it, it can affect your psyche. And speeds you up a little bit where you shouldn't.
Now this is not the greatest angle to beat them by. Let's see if she has the speed.
It looks like she went a little early.
Okay.
No.
Did she go
The
early?
defender went a little early.
Okay.
Somebody went a little early.
So that defender has to step out.
Yep, and now you got 2 behind. Pipe.
Oh, she made a good move, but she hit the pipe. Wow, we've had
Pipe's a goaltender's best friend.
Yes, it is, and we've had 2 of them in the last minute and a half, 1 on each team. That's a tough pass to catch running away.
Yep.
So she
But
must.
she, going for the ground ball, her stick got held, and she was awarded possession. Take it behind cage.
So it looked like they're setting up some runners. Oh, it was there. It was there. Pass was slightly high, but sometimes the player takes the eye off the ball and looks at the goal.
Yep. Gets there a little early.
Yep. So
John Carroll runs a nice offense with cutters and screens off of the cuts.
So if they start paying too much attention to that, you get a chance to get a run at the goal.
Yep. That was Sammy, which went around cage and tried to go low to the goalie. Nice save.
So I like the decision there, and Cam made another good save in the goal. Nice catch there. That's Ava Lambros.
She's way outnumbered.
Well, I called a girls' soccer game in the fall with Don, and Ava was impressive on the soccer team, too.
But discretion was a better part of valor there. She saw that she was way outnumbered, pulled it out, and they're going to run their offense.
Yes. So these smaller schools.
Oh, nice save.
These smaller schools, and John Carroll, even though they're a private school, they're small. You know, population, they don't have the numbers that a Bel Air is, right, or the Baltimore County schools, or heck, some of those Montgomery County schools have 4,000 students.
Right.
So it's almost vital that you have 2 or 3 sport athletes here,
Whoa. They awarded possession to Fallston right in front of the cage.
Right.
They gave it to Sid Grafton, and Julia Ward came up big time.
Nice steal there. See if we can catch the number here.
Sid Grafton. Nice.
Wow.
That was a nice play.
Nice play all the way around.
Sid kept her head up and hit Ayla for another goal. Ayla's second of the game.
So you talk about the double assist there. This play started in the back.
Yeah, with the turnover.
I mean, that was a great steal at midfield. Quick pass downfield, attacked the goal quickly, followed by a nice, kind of like a backhanded catch and play there for Ava.
Just like a fast break in basketball.
Yeah, don't give them a chance to think.
If their defense is kind of being stingy and you can beat them down the field and or the court, do it. They had the numbers.
I wish we could have got the officials' names, Dan. I don't know if you recognize any of them, but again, I talked about hiding from being a goalie. Being an official is a tough thing.
Yes, they're nobody's friend.
You're wrong 90% of the time, even if you're right 90% of the time. Somebody thinks you're wrong.
Oh yeah, either side. It doesn't matter. One side thinks you're wrong.
That was a tough situation there. Both girls went up for the ball in the air, and they just kind of tangled sticks and bodies. And I did not like the way they fell to the ground.
Yeah, that was a tough call for the official there.
Yeah.
You could have gone either way on that one.
So I'm going to ask you another coaching hack question here. You got 18 minutes left in the second half, and you've got a 6-goal lead. Does the coach say use at least half the clock?
No, I don't think so. Not this early.
Right.
You just want to keep doing what's been getting you there.
That was a nice catch and shot by Piper, but the goalie, she looked like she only had one spot to go to, and the goalie anticipated it very well.
Well, with Lacrosse, you got to move goalies, so you got to fake high and go low. That was kind of high to high, so it makes it a little easier for the goalie to make that save.
Piper was almost too fast for her own good. She got in there so quick when she was on top of the goal.
Throw that little hesitation, fake high, go low, fake low, go high.
It's like a steal there by C. Milton Wright. I mean, not C. Milton Wright. I'm looking at the colors here, thinking John Carroll. It was number 22.
That's Grace Marquetti. She's doing it on both ends of the field.
I think 22 was Kate Cotton that time.
Oh, 22. Okay, yes. I thought it was 23.
Yeah. Yep. Kate's a feisty athlete. I mean, I've seen her mix it up on both ends here, winning balls. So what are you doing here defensively for Fallston in their end here?
This is called the ride.
Okay.
So you're trying to prevent their transition game.
So Natalie did not catch that clean because it was a low ball. But again, I love the way she shields the ball with her body. So she kept going around the ball on the ground in a position where the defenders were on her back.
Right, so they're not going to get to the ball unless they go through her.
So it took her a couple scoops, but she used her intelligence and patience there.
Yeah, Natalie has a nice all-around game. Her stick skills are on point. She has good field awareness. She's a really good off-ball player. And she's going to have a real nice career at that next level.
Well, and you know, when you told me where she was going, it doesn't surprise me that Natalie followed the sun in the warm weather. She's a warm weather girl. She loves her.
There's a nice little passing play. So it looks like EK is in the net for Fallston in the second half.
Okay. Now, do you do that to? I mean, you know, Cam did a really good job in the goal. She just had a lot of shots against her.
And a lot of tough chances. You know, a lot of free positions. But sometimes it's just, you know, just to throw something else out there.
Right.
Or sometimes, you know, teams with two good goalies, you know, just swap them out. One starts one game, the other starts the other.
Well, she might have taken a few shots off the legs, too, because she blocked some of them with her body. I can't imagine that feels good.
No, but ice baths at the end of the game feels good.
So we're 11-5 lead here for John Carroll with 15:20 to go in the second half. Boston's going to have to start mounting a comeback soon here.
Yeah, they're taking a lot of time. Down to 20 seconds on the shot clock.
Well, the John Carroll defense doing a fabulous job harassing the people with the ball. That was Olivia Chesla.
And number 7, Sojo Holland was on defense in that corner.
I mean, neither of them gave the person a chance to get a free run at the goal.
Westervelt's on ball right now, harassing. Shot clock violation.
Yeah, that's the defense. Wow.
First shot clock violation.
Anna used to swim for me along with her brothers. Wonderful family. Parents are good athletes, and
she's going to take her time and her talents to Old Dominion University.
That's awesome. A little foul there. Actually, kind of the big foul there.
Extend the arms a little bit, and
Marianne got clobbered there. So let's see what she can do here with her free run.
Again, Riley had a nice defensive position, but she extended her arms, and that's where the foul was called.
Oh, good job.
Nice patience. Again, shielding the defender from her ball, and hitting an empty spot in the cage.
So that's Marianne Manolio's first goal.
Yep, Annie.
Is that what they call her,
yep.
Annie? Here's the play. Nice to the goalie, right over the goalie's right shoulder.
Yeah, she had some nice stick skills there. You know, again, shielding the ball from the defenders that are crashing at her.
She almost looked like she was taking a shot, Dan, where she could have let the ball go here to the goalie's left shoulder, but she just kept it going and went across.
She kind of put it the stick in between her shoulders, shielded the defender, and then she can
have options. Okay.
Placement wherever she needs to go.
The little idiosyncrasies of sports. People do not realize the coaching and the practice that goes into teaching your players all these different ways.
And John Carroll at the draw control.
Yeah.
Lydia Ward, shooting space. Some of the fans didn't agree with that call.
They did not agree. Let's see what she could do here.
Again, it's a little bit off center. Tax cage. Nice save by Ike.
Yeah, she guessed right on that one.
Yep.
She took away the near post, knew she had to go to her right side, and she anticipated it.
Ike's going to take her time and her talents to UMass Lowell to continue her playing career after Fallston.
It's always interesting to see who goes far and who stays close.
Yeah, I got a lot of girls say, well, you know, where do you want to go? I want to go south. I want to go big football.
So you had one right nearby at Navy, not a far drive, and then you had the Penn State drive. I'm sure that was
about a 3-hour commute up to Happy Valley. Yeah, not too bad. And that is big football. 100,000 plus with your of your closest friends in a whiteout.
Have you been able to go to one?
Oh yeah, it's absolutely amazing.
So you know our friends, the Commandors. I want to go up and see a game, and I'm trying to see if Gregory would want to go to a game with my son and I. We have another friend, Jaden Slotnick, up there. The Slotnicks all went there, and Gregory got on TV. He got on TV for the where the players come down the parade thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's an amazing weekend. Football weekends up at Happy Valley.
Well, it's on my bucket list, Dan. It's on my bucket list. I have certain things I want to see. I want to see out of college stadiums. That's one of the ones I want to see.
Oh, that place rocks. 100,000 when things are going well for Penn State. It's absolutely amazing.
So do they draw decent crowds for their women's lacrosse? Because they are usually not
brand new.
ranked.
Panzer Stadium's been there for a little bit.
Nice
saves. Nice save by Ike. Again, didn't move the goalie.
Right.
Shot high to high.
Yeah.
Makes it a whole lot easier for Ike to make that save.
So
and I'm not saying it's easy, but
it was a
makes it easier.
great pass and a great positioning for the shooter. But yeah. But I also think here, Dan, that we're now seeing that the John Carroll coach is putting some subs in.
Yeah, we had a new goalie down at the end for John Carroll.
Yeah. I mean, it's not
Emma Bison.
It's not game over, but I appreciate a coach who will give the second string some minutes.
Well, you know, they're your next year. You know, the subs that are there, maybe your starters next year.
I did a lot of sports, and I have 3 or 4 other people that have done sports with me. And we were amazed that a couple coaches wouldn't sub at all with a big lead, and others mix them in. I'm more of a subber. Another good stop. I think she might have hit a little bit post and stick there, but I'm not sure.
Good hustle by Fallston there. They get the ball.
But I agree with you. I mean, I especially when you can mix them in. You don't have to put in a whole fresh line. But, you know, put in a sub midfielder or two with a starting midfielder or two, and the same thing with your attack. Give them the experience, because injuries are a part of the game, and you've got to be ready to put that next person in. That was really good defense again. I talked about the feet. Nice scoop there. Wow.
Ava.
She's such an athlete. I mean, she took a loose ball and made it into a scoring chance. There she is. Scoop.
Yeah,
might as well attack. Cross the goalie there.
Nice, really nice move. Gets by Sojo there and then puts it by the goalie.
So she's leading her team, Ava Lambros, with 3 goals. Ella Galloway has 2, and Delaney O'Malley has 1. For John Carroll, they've, you know, yes, they have a couple people that are scoring more, but they've spread it around to a lot of different goal scorers. So Grace Marchetti has 4, and I have Lydia Ward with 2 goals and an assist. Natalie Kelly has 2 nice assists. Piper has a goal and assist and a lot of draw wins. Elizabeth Hannafy has a goal. Samantha Bender has a goal. Ella Parks and also Emerson King. So
Emmy King.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different goal scorers for John Carroll.
And that's again, that's a testament to their offense. It's more, again, more team offense. There goes Ava again.
Yeah.
Really nice split dodge. right by our defender and put a bullet by Emma Bison.
Here we go with the replay.
Watch the split here. Split dodge, right around, bullet past the goalie. Really, really nicely done.
Yeah, that's when the coaches kind of want to be like, hey, anybody but her can get the ball. You know, let's make this.
Hey, everybody else, step up. Get that same energy level.
Well, easier said than done because all of us coaches have said, don't let so-and-so get the ball, but that's why they're good. They can get the ball. They know how to get open. They pounce on loose balls. She's very good at pouncing on a loose ball.
She's quick. Her stick skills are on point. Not quite sure the call there, but John Carroll ball.
It was a nice catch on the draw, too, by the Fallston player, but then they had a violation.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what the heck happened there.
So you got 9 minutes to go here and a 5-goal lead. It's crept back to a 5-goal lead. So
yeah, there was 2 quick ones there by Fallston.
So I'm gonna say that
now you want to work a little bit of clock.
Yes. And they
take that momentum away.
They seem to do that. They seem to take 1 minute off that clock, and then is it a 2-minute clock or a 90-second clock?
It's 90.
90. So they took a good 30 seconds. So that was a nice catch and shot.
Annie Mongol.
So
Mongolia.
I think that so
quick stick in there to the.
Did that come from number 16 behind the goal?
Yep,
yeah,
Izzy
wow.
Boyle.
That was a beautiful.
That was there was some distance there trying to get that pass off. Fallston ball.
So nice. Oops, a little bit of an overpass here. So this possession is really important here.
Those kinds of unforced turnovers will age coaches quickly.
Well, it's very hard to catch a lacrosse ball anyhow, but when they throw it down by your ankles,
true, but again, it's unforced. She didn't have a defender in front of her. The receiver of the pass didn't have a defender in front of her. Those kind of connections you want to make them.
So let's see if is that Piper with the ball? Couldn't tell.
That was Sammy Bender.
So I want to see. I like what you described before about how they have a lot of runners at the goal. Now that one was a different angle there.
Again, they couldn't make the connection with that the cutter in front of the cage.
It looked like 2 people cut at the same time.
Yeah, you got to kind of space and time your cuts.
So that was a nice run all the way downfield. So we have a 6-goal lead here with 7:30 to go. 13-7, John Carroll. Definitely had to make something happen. I'm surprised they're slowing the game down here a little bit, Dan. I know you have to have a little bit of patience, but
okay, here comes the double.
They're good at that.
Yeah. Ooh, nice
steal by the goalie.
Yeah. Very nice by
Emma Bison.
Yep. Stepped out in front of that pass. Shows real nice awareness.
So they got the ball out to Kate Cotton there, showing some running ability here, getting all the way downfield.
She'll dump it off to an attack and run back over the restraining line. Nice.
Oh, she tried to go there pretty quickly. Looks like she might be hurt a little bit.
Yeah, she tried to duck under that defender a little bit.
That was a good throw by the goalie, very accurate. I can't imagine the difficulty it is throwing with that stick.
Yeah,
compared to a normal stick.
Does take some getting used to.
Here goes
Ava again.
Ava, and she's
going through. She's going through the whole. She's going through the whole John Carroll defense.
Yeah. I mean, what do you do? She shoots well with her left. She shoots well with her right. Here comes the replay here with burst of speed right
she's
there.
going through
Boom.
everybody. Really nice stick skills.
She doesn't even have a great angle.
No,
And
but she had
puts that
some
in.
really nice pace, and she hit a great spot.
Very accurate.
That's 5 goals for Ava.
Yes.
She's killing it.
So, I mean, I'm not going to say give her all the credit, but she's a large part of her team being in the game.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
5 out of the 8 goals are her.
and I haven't even seen her miss much. So,
Yeah, her shooting percentage is pretty high.
now you may have already said it. Did you say she's committed to Flagler?
Yes, I did.
Yes. No, I don't even know where Flagler is, Dan.
I think it's down south.
Okay. Okay. I told my family I would like to have a United States map with all the colleges on it, or a lot of them. Because, even when I'm watching sports on TV, I'll be like, where is that? I don't even know where that school is.
Hey, I'm the recruiting coordinator, and schools come up, I'm like, where the heck is that?
Well, I'll tell you what, people don't realize this. I saw it one time. Pennsylvania has so many colleges in it.
Yep.
Just the state of Pennsylvania. Now, a lot of them are small D2, D3 schools, but I saw the number at one point. And that's why the people that talk about playing at the next level, it depends on what your goals are.
Again, we tell our girls what is your desire? Where do you do you want to go 2 hours away? You want to go 4 hours away? Do you want a big school? Do you want a little school? Do you want check out your major? What kind of playing experience do you want to have?
Well, I love it when people make the right decisions. Pick the school that has the major you want. It has to be about your education. Because I've actually seen some people say, well, I just want my kid to go where they can play. Well, isn't it kind of important?
Student athlete.
Yes.
The student comes first.
Yes. So, and you're right. Like, we know some players that played at big Division I schools, but they didn't play much.
So again, what do you want out of your playing experience?
Yes.
Are you okay to be a part-time player?
Right.
Are you okay to be that last guy or girl off the bench?
Right.
But what do you want? Do you want to play right away? You're okay waiting that first year, as a freshman? Again, what do you want out of your playing experience?
Yes.
And the girl and the parents have to be in sync, because we've seen a lot of different opportunities where the girl wants to do one thing and the parents want to do something else.
Yes. So
this is too big of a decision. Everybody needs to be on the same page.
There's Piper McHugh again. She pushed the ball that way in the draw, watched some teammates go for the ball, and then she kept hustling and found the ball herself.
Yeah, she's a real good player. She's going to have a lot of opportunities to further her playing career at that next level.
Now, something you taught me today about changing the stick that I just saw that was kind of interesting was after she won that, she was up far enough that they did not want her to leave the field, so she switched sticks with a teammate.
Yep.
That teammate ran to the side, exchanged sticks.
Yep. So there is actual draw sticks out there.
Right.
So they have a little bit of a different pocket. Their walls are a little different. So yeah, you'll see it at the college game. You'll have a draw control person does the draw. Next thing you know, they run.
Wow, what a play that was.
Nice dodge under by Sammy Bender. That's her second of the day.
So that was a lot of traffic in that whole possession there. And I really saw multiple chances for somebody to miss a catch or a pass. But they still connected them all. Nice job.
Watch Sammy change levels.
Yep.
And started high and threw a riser in there.
So I was talking to Chris Dale during a boys lacrosse game that we did. And, for the boys analogy we used, a lot of times coaches want that little scrappy wrestler kind of kid for the draws.
Yep.
And
quick twist muscle, I can't even say it. Quick twitch muscles. There we go.
And the thing is, you need that feisty athlete that's going to fight for the draw, then have the quickness to pounce on it, or in some cases, jump. Now that ball,
and it didn't go up. It's got to be above shoulder level for the draw. Right. Otherwise, they'll redraw. In the college game, it's alternating possessions. If there's a draw infraction like that, whoever had the ball last, the other team will get it.
Okay.
Empty stick check.
Now you have a 5 minutes to go in the game here, and you have a 6-goal lead. I would think that.
Yeah, you're gonna be a little bit careful, get the ball around and get everybody a touch, and then start to get into your offense. See, everybody's getting a touch.
So as we said, John Carroll was 5-5 coming in, 4 or 5 in the league. But just like
now they get into their offense.
A lot of sports, the conference they're in, the competition is tough.
Yeah. So you got St. Paul's, you got McDonough. I mean, some of the top high school programs in the nation are in this conference.
I had somebody ask me once, they're like, why is, there you go.
Nice save by Ike.
Why is so-and-so ranked in the top 15 in the metro area teams, and they're 8-10? I'm like, did you see who the 10 teams were they lost to? They're number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 in the rankings.
And, lose by 1 goal, 2 goals.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, it's...
Nice turnaround.
Nice look. And Sammy Bender converts. That's her 3rd.
So let's see who that assist was from. It was out top. That was a very nice pass.
Again, keeping her head up and seeing where the open player was.
So number 3 there.
Emmy King.
Emmy King found her. She was in great position. So positioning is everything. I mean, she found a hole. The defenders are looking at.
Yeah, I don't know where her defender was.
Yeah, I mean, the defenders were looking at Emmy coming in, thinking, do we have to commit to her? Then she just slides in there behind the defense.
Sammy made a nice catch, turns, doesn't rush her shot,
right.
Looks for the opening and converts.
She has the hat trick now too.
Yep.
3 goals.
Sammy's an interesting story. She started on JV this year. They gave her a plan on how to get back to varsity.
Awesome.
She worked her rear end off, and next thing you know, she's starting on varsity. Real nice success story there.
I think the Baltimore Orioles are doing that to some of their pitchers right now, Dan.
Yeah, sending them up and down.
Yeah. Well, you can't
get that train to Norfolk.
Yes, you can't get outs here, so let's go down and figure it out. There's Piper with another draw. Gonna dump the ball over here.
Yeah, she's got real nice control at the draw.
She's come on strong in the end of the game with it. She was winning a little bit more than 50% earlier on, but to your point, she had a couple of violations on moving too quickly. So I'm sure her
brought Nat in,
yeah.
Gave her a little bit of a break, and now she's back, controlling the draw. Again, possession is so key in this game. Can't score without the ball.
No. So we're down to 3:20 to go in
nice
the game
look.
here. 15-8.
They're wasting a little bit of time here. She could have gone to cage strong, but she pulled it out, and then we're on their offense.
I think Piper really wants one.
There you go.
Yeah. Well, she's obviously a very skilled athlete and smart athlete, but she's also the one that has to do a lot of the dirty work.
Yep.
So she just said, you know what? Nobody's cutting down my lane here. I'm going to go in, switch from left to right, put that right in.
And she also had that other gear. She was just loping into towards cage, and then had another gear and took it and exploded the cage.
So a pretty high scoring game here, Dan, with 16 goals. I don't have all Fallston scores, but I am sure they have not, given up this amount of goals in a long time. So I think the John Carroll team has a lot of potential. It's hard to make the playoffs in that conference, we said.
But the 10 top teams do make the playoffs.
And I think I heard they're tied for 7th right now.
Yes, that's correct.
So let's hope that they get a chance to make it. But,
Again, you're going against some of the top schools in the nation. St. Paul's, McDonough.
So I'm looking at the John Carroll roster. 2 seniors, maybe 3.
Yeah, their junior class is very strong with Nat, Caitlin Durchanik, who hurt a knee, an ACL early in the season, who's committed to Ohio State. They're Anna Westerveld.
Yeah.
I mean, their junior class is really, really strong.
Well, we talked feeder program again, and a lot of those girls can come up play on the same club team together. Nice fake.
Nice. Sammy Bender going from behind the cage.
So it looked to me like great first move, first fake, But then as she did the fake, the ball traveled to the top of the stick a little bit, and then it sailed a little bit high when she released it.
Yep.
That's my non-Dan Gallagher knowledge level analysis of that play, folks.
It was pretty good. It was pretty good.
I can wing it sometimes. I love watching lacrosse. I mean, I've grown up a very well-rounded sports fan. And as you know, you're probably close to my age. And back in the day when lacrosse wasn't as popular nationally, I mean, you would have 5 or 6 men's and women's Maryland lacrosse teams in the NCAA tournament.
Yep.
You know, and I remember saying, well, who was gonna win? Maryland, Navy, Hopkins, UMBC, Towson,
Loyola? What side of Charles Street are we rooting for?
And it wasn't as deep in the women's game, but it was still deep. Like, you know, obviously Maryland was always a contender, and Navy's had some really good teams. I think the Johns Hopkins women, if I'm not mistaken,
Homewood Field is a legend, both in the men's game and the women's game.
Are they D1 in women's?
Yes.
Okay.
They're Big Ten.
So
they're an associate member in the Big Ten.
That's one of those examples where Johns Hopkins is only Big Ten in lacrosse.
Right.
Because they're
D3 in football and baseball.
Now, how often have you, besides watching your own daughters, ventured down to watch the Final Four?
Oh yeah, it's a ritual. It's a ritual for me. You know, I have relationships with you know, a lot of the college coaches, so it's you know, it's old home week. Go back down there and hang out with the coaches and get to talk to them, and right before we start the summer circuit.
Wow. So what was the call and situation there in your mind? Was it an injured player that come off?
Yeah, a little bit of a cross check to the attacker at X. Called the foul.
I would think that one or both of the teams would consider some subs here with 1:30 to go. Give some kids a few minutes.
Halo's trying to settle the offense down. Here comes the double.
A little turnover there, and then
a little bit of aggressive, trying to go for the ground ball.
Yep. So both Dan and I have been around the sports community for a long time. I want to say more because we're old, Dan.
That's a nice move by Halo.
More because we're old and we're willing to be involved. So we see it. One of the nice things about this, Dan, your first game with me, here comes this great replay. Dodged to her left, and then she still shot it with her right when she was going to her left.
Yeah, you know, coaches will look at that film and say, you know, nice move, great finish. Why didn't you go to your left hand?
So, as I was starting to say, we just see a lot of faces in the crowd we know here, people waving to us, and that's part of the community. You see like 10 people in the stands here that coached half of these girls, and they gave their time to the community, and some of them are referees, and some of them are just diligent parents showing up every day, rain or shine.
These club teams and volunteer groups, these leagues don't go on without people stepping up and wanting to give back to the game that maybe they played or the community that they're living in.
So we have less than a minute to go here, and John Carroll possessing the ball, winning 16-9. I would think they're just going to run the clock out, and their coaches told them to.
Yep.
Very similar to a basketball situation. Then you see if you have the one overzealous players like, but coach, I haven't got my goal. I want a chance. Well, you might have that here.
There's Haley Lauer.
And
nice look. Oh,
she got a little stick check from behind there.
She got a little anxious.
Yeah, that was Annie Willie. She's got 3 goals this season. She
wanted to post that 4th one.
Yeah, she did. Well, that's really hard to explain to younger kids. Guys, we're not going to shoot anymore. Why? Why?
That's the fun part. That's why we, you know,
come on,
put all those practice hours in. I want to go score.
So final horn here, folks, 16-9. I'll do a quick recap of some of the goal scoring. Not in order of goals, in order of my list here. I have Annie Manolio with 2 goals for John Carroll. Lydia Ward.
Emmy King with a goal and assist as well.
I have Lydia Ward with
I got 2.
2 goals. I have Natalie Kelly with no goals with 2 assists. Piper McHugh with 2 goals and assists and a ton of draws, one just like Natalie Kelly. Elizabeth Hannafy had a goal. Izzy Boyle had an assist. 3 goals for Samantha Bender, a goal for Ella Parks, 4 for Grace Marchetti, and a goal and assist for Emerson King. For Fallston, you know, with the 16-9 final here, their goals were really a lot. 5 goals for Ava Lambros and 3 for Ayla Galloway and 1 for Delaney O'Malley.
Yep.
I thought it was a good game, Dan. What are your thoughts?
I really like the way John Carroll went about their business today. They were very patient on offense. They didn't force things. They kept their turnovers under control. They looked for their teammates. A lot of their goals were assisted,
Right.
as opposed to Fallston had a little bit of problems on the turnover battle. They weren't getting the ball on the draw controls. And they tended to be a little bit more dodgeball oriented on offenses, as opposed to sharing the ball and looking for the open person.
So I will say 16-9 loss for Fallston, but I think they have a real potential to make noise in the 1A playoffs.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, they definitely have talent there.
I mean, they're going to probably be battling with, you know, Hartford Tech and Hartford County and maybe Patterson Mill.
Yep.
And but they've won the regionals twice recently.
Oh, they're a powerhouse in Class 1.
And I also think that John Carroll, with having so many sophomores and juniors, are going to just get better as the year goes on.
Oh, definitely.
And they might be 7th in the league now, but I could see them moving up and at least challenging good teams this year.
The John Carroll schedule go forward is they have Bryn Mawr on the 18th. They have Roland Park on the 24th. They have St. Mary's. All these games are home. And the last 2 games on their schedule are a little bit tough. They go away to McDonough and away to St. Paul's.
Right.
And right now, McDonough is leading the IAAM Conference 1A.
If I'm not guessing wrong, I'm saying they're 2 nationally ranked teams.
Yep, Glen Elgs is also a nationally ranked team. They're 8-0. St. Paul's is 8-1. Maryvale 6-2. Spalding 6-3.
Yeah.
NDP 5-4, and then now John Carroll and Roland Park all come in at 4-5.
Yeah. So Dan, it was great calling the game with you.
Yeah, I had a blast.
Thanks for joining me. So John Carroll moves to 6-5, and Fallston
first loss on the
7-1, but to a very good team. So very good game. Great crowd here. Great weather.
Great environment.
Except for one bee that was bothering us at the end of the game. I was very entertaining. So thank you again, everyone, for tuning in. Final score: John Carroll 16, Fallston 9. Stay tuned for our next telecast.